The Green Children of Woolpit. The legend of the Green Children of Woolpit starts during the reign of King Stephen in a rather tumultuous time. History called the Anarchy in the mid 12th century. Is an ancient village in Suffolk named after, as one might gather from its name, an old pit for catching wolves. Next to this wolf pit in around 1150, a group of villagers came across two young children with green skin, apparently speaking gibberish and acting nervous. According to contemporary writings at the time by Ralph, the children were subsequently taken to the nearby home of Sir Richard de Calne, where he offered them food, but they repeatedly refused to eat it. This continued for some time until the children came across some green in his garden, which they ate straight out of the ground. It is thought that the children lived with Richard for some years, where he was able to slowly convert them over to normal food. And according to the writings of the day, this change in diet led to the children losing their green complexion. The children also slowly learned to speak English, and once fluent, were asked where they had come from and why their skin was once green, and they replied with, "We are inhabitants of the land of St. Martin, who is regarded with peculiar veneration in the country which gave us birth. We are ignorant of how we arrived here. We only arrived, and remember this, that on a certain day, when we were feeding our father's flocks in the fields, we heard a great sound, such as we are now accustomed to here at St. Edmund's, and when the bells were chiming, and whilst listening to the sound in admiration, we became on a sudden, as it were, entranced, and found ourselves among you in the fields where you were reaping. It does not rise upon our countrymen. Our land is little cheered by its beams. We are contented with that twilight which among you precedes the sunrise or follows the sunset. Moreover, a certain luminous country is seen, not far distant from ours, and divided from it by a very considerable river." Shortly after this revelation, Richard took the children to be baptized in a local church. However, the boy soon died afterwards from an unknown illness, and the girl, later known as Agnes, continued to work for Richard for many years before marrying the archdeacon, and according to one report, the pair had at least one child. Expanding on where they came from, the girl reported that she and her brother came from, quote, "the land of St. Martin, where there was no sun, but a perpetual twilight, and all the inhabitants were green like them." She described another luminous land that could be seen across a river. She and her brother were looking after their father's flock when they came upon a cave. They entered the cave and wandered through the darkness for a long time until they came out the other side, entering into bright sunlight, which they found startling, and it was then that they were found by the villagers. So some explanations are that the children were suffering from hypochromic anemia, originally known as chlorosis, meaning greenish yellow. The condition is caused by a very poor diet that affects the color of the red blood cells and results in a noticeably green shade of the skin. And in support of this theory, the girl is described as returning to a normal color after adopting a healthy diet. And another person, Paul Harris, went on to say that the children, in describing their land foreign to the villagers, they were Flemish origin orphans, and they were possibly from a nearby place known as Fornham St. Martin, which was separated from Woolpit by the River Lark. A lot of Flemish immigrants had arrived during the 12th century, but were persecuted under the reign of King Henry II. And in 1173, many were near Bury St. Edmunds, and if they had fled into Thetford Forest, it may have seemed like permanent twilight to the frightened children. They may also have entered one of the many underground mine passages that were present in the area at the time, which finally led them to Woolpit. And dressed in strange Flemish clothes and speaking another language, the children would have presented a very strange spectacle to the Woolpit. Some other worldly explanations for them are they might be some kind of fae, early prototype for another popular East Anglian. And in this version, instead of being abandoned by their wicked uncle to die in a forest, they were poisoned with arsenic, which would explain their skin color, but survived. Or they're aliens. They're probably aliens. I'm your host, Luke. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe for more. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.